Ari Lennox has given an unwanted statement doubling down about how Martin was a show that was colorist towards Pam. She didn't like the way that Martin used to go in on Pam, but it seems like she forgot that Pam used to also go in on Martin.
You are now tuned in to the LaFlair Lounge with your host, Big Just LaFlair.
You are watching a master at work.
Okay, so for those who aren't familiar, Ari Lennox, who was supposed to be off of social media, according to her, came back on Instagram Live, and she decided that one of the topics she wanted to discuss when I guess she was at home watching Netflix was how Martin, the show, was colorist towards Pam, and she didn't like that.
The thing that pissed me off about Martin was how much he would go on Pam. Like, I know, like, and this is coming from a girl who I love me a good, like, joking ass movie, and it even when the joking movie is like, damn, like, that was fucked up, like, you know, I'm not like too woke or something is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm honestly not, I'm problematic. I'm pretty problematic, low key. But my point is that there are some things where I draw the line and it just bothered me, or like, I don't know. It's like, Pam was so fucking beautiful and so fine. And I just feel like growing up as a chocolate girl, like, I don't even know if I was able to understand the greatness of Pam because of the light that I feel like I was being fed. You know what I'm saying? Like, of just like always going on Pam, always, like, that's all I remember. And I didn't like that. But like, so I feel conflicted because while I feel like this show is incredible and I feel like Martin is a legendary show and all of the actors and Tommy and like everybody, like, legendary, amazing. Like, I adore them all. Like, you have no idea. And I adore Martin. Like, I adore him. It just would piss me off. Like the joking on Pam. I just didn't like that, you know? Like, I'll always kind of feel a way about that.
Now, the people of the internet would all come together and go in on Ari Lennox because it just didn't make sense. Martin didn't just go in on Pam. They didn't just single Pam out on the show. If anything, she was the only one that defended herself on the show. And Martin never said anything about her skin tone. He only talked about how her breath stank, that she was single, her weave was nappy, and she would say far worse things sometimes about Martin. But did Martin not go in on Cole about how he was broke and he had the big girlfriend? Did he not go in on Tommy about not having a job? Did he not go in on his own damn girlfriend and fiance and wife and Gina and say how her head was big as hell? So where is this coming from? It's gotta be childhood trauma that she's projecting. But you know what? Let's save that. We can continue. Now, Ari Lennox, I guess, who was feeling herself, decided to make her own statement. Yes, she sat down. She wrote a statement that she wanted to read. Not publicizing her album that's coming out. Not saying, hey, I got some shows and some concerts. No. She decided she was coming back to the internet to discuss her Martin take and how people are sheep because she's right and y'all are wrong.
What's up? Good morning. Good morning. So I have some things to talk about today because it's time. It's time. So grab your popcorn, grab your drinks. Hopefully it's tea. Grab your protein shakes. I've been drinking these lovely protein shakes. Okay. Okay, here we go. I want to read you something. I was going to say that I wasn't reading, but I think you're going to be able to tell that I'm reading it. But I want to read something because I know it's time, okay? I am with child. Just kidding. Okay, here we go. I was browsing on a Shade Room post, and I saw the girl say, I had to make sure these comments are passing the vibe check. That's when I realized a lot of you all are sheep and scary, meek and mild, afraid to stand out and stand on what you truly believe without outside influence. That is the internet, a brainwashing lie, a platform where people's opinions change based on what the comment section says, not even what the video is about, and not even how you truly feel as the individual you are. I'm owning my shit as the sensitive and very much so alive and electrified woman I am, and continue to speak my mind and happily piss y'all off in the process. If I had ill intent, I would have came on here with a PowerPoint presentation that backs my claims on the types of jokes Martin used on Pam being wildly offensive. That will never be my intent or motive. But I will stand on business forever knowing them jokes was wild. And I don't say any of this with any desire to rewrite history. Those actors and actresses are legends, and I meant no harm to them. I don't need any army of people defending me or agreeing with me. That has always been a rare occurrence for me. But I feel amazing in knowing that I will validate myself and my feelings before I look to you or yours. Sorry, there we go. This is why it sucks to read. Sorry, I'm gonna reread that part. But I feel amazing in knowing that I will validate myself and my feelings before I look to you for yours. I'm also aware that people have been called worse things by people they love and by their enemies. So maybe their experience with Martin was special and therapeutic and unique to them. I never was a fan of roasting, period, as I am a very sensitive, and I will for sure drag somebody to hell every time. But we were just playing, right? Absolutely not. I can't do that. So anyway, I'm also happily hypocritical and divided as I am a human and a major fan of comedy. And it can understand things from multiple angles with my opinion and all. And still, guess what? Enjoy it. I also understand that nobody likes their favorite show being challenged and with observations and opinions. Especially by a successful and disruptive black chocolate woman. Especially in a time where our shows are getting canceled. I know you want to protect it with all your might. That's understandable. I know it's hard to embrace someone who is not a sheep. I'm very triggering and powerful, so any observation and opinion I release can go viral. And I should have been aware of that as I was having fun on that IG Live. I'm aware of what's happening right now as well. I've been having these opinions in private, and I decided to open up to 200 people in an IG Live. I like to talk, y'all. And I like to think. Hell, I just watched the Bernie Mac stand up a few years back, and I understand why he is a legend that he is, but I also couldn't help but to feel uncomfortable about some of his jokes too. But my sister, whom I love, Gemini, reminded me that comedy is there to cross that line and say what you would never expect a soul to say. For that, comedians are bold and brave, and I could never have the balls in that way, ever in my life. Everyone gets triggered by something, but not everyone admits to it or wants to have conversations about it. Every time I get on IG Live, people will deem any of my excerpts as sensitive or a PSA. So I'm going to stand in that truth, because it's true, y'all. I'm sensitive. Okay? I'm going to stand in that truth. Which so many are afraid to do because they don't want to cause disruption and discomfort to their fans and their haters. Nobody wants to be uncool. But y'all, I will die the coolest and fearless. I'm going to keep going on IG Live. And I'm going to keep talking until you understand that I will never stop talking. Because I'm not some AI bot like so many of you are. Imagine being fake reprimanded by thousands over an opinion that harms nobody. An observation. Hell, a fact. Never in a million years did I think the internet would be so sensitive and dramatic about my words. But I'm grateful for my 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify and my little pickup truck and this album Vacancy I'm about to drop in the fall and the opportunities that I'm constantly blessed with. I'm not desperate for fans, so please continue to spew your feelings about me and be mad. So, thank you. I did release this. That was me releasing it. I know you said don't release it, but this is not up for debate. This is what I want to say. But anyway, so the album comes out in the fall. It's called Vacancy. I'm going to make this live public, and we will see how that goes.
Yeah, at this point, man, I'm just realizing that Ari Lennox was missing the attention from social media. She took her break from Instagram, and she didn't like it. She liked the fact when she was getting attention and she said outrageous things, and she likes the feeling of people not liking her, and she plays as if she's like victim or if she's just that much more intelligent than people, when in actuality that is not the case. Now, Ari Lennox went from no internet to literally Now she's issuing a statement about a show that will be 33 years old on September 27th. Literally her age. This is a problematic woman. She's already self-admitted that. This is a woman who left the Rod Wave tour because she felt like the fans didn't like her. She's had other instances where the sensitivity has came out. This is also a woman who had problems with her label. This is yet another woman who's now having a problem with a show in Martin, and now she got a problem with Bertie Mac's stand-up comedy. I just find it funny that she's psychoanalyzing everybody else, calling them sheep, saying that we're just literally all just following the internet wave, and we can't be right because her opinion is so much better than everybody else's, when there's actual facts to back up that what she's saying is virtually incorrect. So I found it funny when she said, I didn't do this with malicious intent. If I did, I would have made a whole PowerPoint to show where these jokes were very inappropriate. And as a chocolate woman, it was very discouraging how they treated her on this show. When in actuality, there is no PowerPoint presentation you can show us because the things that you are seeing don't exist. I've never seen Martin say, Pam, shut your dark skin ass up. Pam, you kind of pretty for a dark skin girl. I never heard these types of jokes. I never saw this type of colorism. You see, I think that you didn't think that this was gonna go viral, and it went viral for about a day. To me, it was just like a good podcast discussion. I've seen other people say these things before, so I'm not sure if you're operating off your own personal thoughts or if this is something that you're regurgitating that took like a trend on the internet. But with that being said, I think that when you saw the traction that comment took, that you were like, yo, you know what? I like the attention from this. Let me keep it going. Because you got on here and you said, hey, everybody, grab your popcorn, grab your favorite milkshake. This is attention-seeking behavior, in my personal opinion. I also thought it was weird that you tried to make it seem like people are like trauma bonding to watch Martin, as if they're looking for their past traumas when they're watching it, when in actuality, that's exactly what you're doing, ma'am. Because if you hate roasting, like you said, and you don't like people being made fun of, then why would you watch a show that's literally geared around cracking jokes on other people, roasting other people, going back and forth, shooting the dozens? Why would you watch that? That's because you, ma'am, want a trauma bond. You want to watch this and get outraged about things that don't make sense. How can everybody else be wrong and everybody else be sheep, but you're the sensitive one that's watching a show with the content that you don't like? Make it make sense. Listen, I'm cool with people speaking and thinking highly of themselves, but you out here talking like you was Malcolm X, MLK. I'm like a strong woman, and that's why you guys do not understand me. No, sweetheart. That's not what you are. You are speaking about Martin, which is supposed to be a fun comedy show. You're speaking about it in 2025 terms, and that's really the issue. You're speaking about a show with the sensitivity of today, and you are an extreme sensitive person that has childhood trauma that they should unpack. You're projecting whatever issues that you have onto the show. Clearly, you might have been made fun of as a kid because of your complexion. I'm not saying that those feelings aren't valid, but to push that on something that isn't even reality, it's literally a TV show, and a TV show that's over 30 years old is weird. What's even more wild is you going against the grain, going against what your team wanted you to do, and then encouraging your fans not to be fans, saying, hey, I don't need any new fans. I'm good with what I got. But then yet complaining about Rod Wave's fans and performing for them. On top of that, trying to promote an album at the end of this. It just goes to show, man, you ain't got it all together. Ari, you ain't wrapped too tight. So all I ask is that I think you should just go back on your hiatus from the internet and just enjoy some time away from it, man, because this shit is just not for everybody. It's not for you. These were terrible takes that you had, yet you're mad at everybody else and calling them sheep and they don't know anything when it could be you, sis. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And we out, baby. Boom.
Big Just LaFleur.
It's him.